I gotta start dunking the warm-ups too. I be trying to be too cool and shit. Right now, trying to find our groove offensively.
Yeah, that's what he said.
If you're a basketball nerd, you're supposed to love the Nuggets. Like, are you guys aware of that perception?
No. I was a hipster basketball fan. Just what's that?
I mean, damn.
Old 11, which is great. Now we have to back it up with wins.
Well, you're right. I'm not on Twitter. I can't come in here trying to be all hip-hop because players see right through that.
Our job, like whole team, is just to get a win. So whatever you need to do just to get a win.
I think we're very similar to the city, creative, kind of quirky even, an atypical team.
Hey everyone, it's Rohan Nedkarni, staff writer for The Crossover out here in Denver. If you're a real basketball nerd, that means you're a Nuggets fan. You've seen the Nikola Jokić passing compilations. You've seen Paul Millsap hit 3 after 3. Hopefully you have Gary Harris on your fantasy team. The Denver Nuggets can't be the NBA's fun team forever. Sooner rather than later, they want to be something more. And it starts with their pass-first big man, Nikola Jokić.
There's probably a part of all of us, you watch Nikola and you think, God, if I was 6'11", I could play like him.
Well, he surprised us as well.
Oftentimes, second round, you have to take into account, does the guy want to play here in the States? You know, he had a brother played Division I here, ended up at CW Post, he had a girlfriend in the States, so all those things in unison with being a tall guy who knew how to play made him an attractable second round, flyer. But that's all he was.
I was fortunate to coach LeBron James for 5 years in Cleveland. He took more satisfaction with making his teammates better than maybe scoring. He is the same thing. Nikola would rather create a play for his teammate with a great pass than he would scoring the basketball.
I think I become not a good passer just because I couldn't score. If I can score 40 every game, I want to score 40 every game, but I can't. So I need to pass the ball, I need to get everybody involved.
He's such a willing passer that it's hard for you to be selfish in his offense. I tried to guard him last year when I was in Atlanta, and it was a tough situation for myself.
The development of him, and it's been so rapid, has forced us to kind of adjust how we build our team and how we find guys that not just complement him, but also kind of protect him as well.
The way he get guys involved and make them better, definitely want to be one of those guys.
Millsap officially signed his new 3-year, $90 million contract today, becoming the Nuggets' biggest free agent signing in years. And the moment was equally big.
I was like, yeah, here we go.
It's good to have All-Star here. He's that guy that we really needed, the guy who we can rely on.
To have a 4-time All-Star, a player that has close to 90 playoff games under his belt, that wanted to be a part of what we were building. That says we're doing something right.
He's very versatile offensively. To couple him with one of the best passing bigs in the league, in Nikola, we thought that we got a very good match.
He was a big part of why, I came to Denver and why I wanted to play. I have a tendency to take the game a little too serious. And just being around him and watching the passes and the shots, I threw it between a guy's legs in New Jersey. I've never done that before in my life. Not in a game. So just getting out there and just having fun with the game and having fun passing it and playing, that's definitely what I learned since being here with him.
If you go back to Atlanta a few years ago, when they had the best record in the Eastern Conference, and you had Al Horford playing alongside Paul Millsap, I really believe that Paul Millsap and Nikola Jokić is very similar to that pairing in Atlanta.
It reminds me a lot of that team, just younger, for sure.
We want to play with pace, we want to share the ball, we want to be hard to guard.
There's no egos in the locker room. We want something from everybody, not just 2 or 3 guys.
So why else do basketball nerds really love the Denver Nuggets? You know all about their exciting front court, but there's just as much potential in the backcourt, led by 20-year-old guard Jamal Murray and 4th-year player Gary Harris.
I mean, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know.
Gary is emblematic of everything we're trying to be. He was a guy that struggled after his first year, struggled into his first summer league with our present coaching staff, and he just dropped his head and worked.
Every night is guarding the best player on the court, so he brings that defensive presence, and at the same time, we're asking him to score as well.
This summer, his name was bandied about in countless trade scenarios. He had just landed from Italy. I called him, said, we're going to meet Paul Millsap tomorrow, can you come? Just landed, yeah, no problem, I'm there on the next flight. So I think not just the player, but the person, when you have that combination of two, you do what you can to keep them. Gary spoke with a signature how much he values it here. Chris, congratulations. Well deserved, man. Well deserved. Congrats, man. Oh, man.
At the end of the day, it's basketball. It's a game. So I mean, we take it very seriously. But at the end of the day, you still gotta have fun with it. You come here, you gotta find something to laugh about, something to joke around about. Just make the journey easier.
Jamal is extremely young.
Being a 20-year-old starting point guard in the Western Conference is not easy.
He playing against guys that have been in the league since he was damn near 2-3 years old.
I remember watching Jameer Nelson play. You can't think of basketball as your job. You know, you got to go in the same love and passion that you had growing up with it, and you got to take that on the court here, even though it's a business.
Get back.
Our chemistry, our relationship is growing each time we step on that court together, and you know, we kind of know what gets each other going.
These guys cannot develop unless we have a coaching staff that's willing and able to be patient and willing and able at times just to kind of cover their face like, God darn, what was that? Because if you're not able to make mistakes, you're not going to get better. Some nights it's not going to be your night when you're 20 years old, you're 21 years old, you're 22 years old. So it's not easy being the coach to that level of youth.
I've had some serious coaches, and Coach Malone is not one.
Okay.
I can be very serious, I can be very intense, but I can also be a fun guy to be around.
Get back!
I'm still confused on what the word superstar player means.
I was first in Golden State. I was a part of that team making the playoffs for the first time in a long time. And you know, I coached Steph, I coached Clay, I coached Draymond. And at that time, you know, they didn't have superstars. Steph Curry's a superstar now. Guys like Nikola, guys like Gary Harris, guys like Jamal Murray, they have to go through the growing pains.
He's Clay, I'm Steph.
Obviously been the best team in our league for the last 3 years, the best team this year.
In OKC, Melo will join NBA MVP Russell Westbrook and the newly acquired Paul George.
We're still wrapping our brains around this Chris Paul to Houston trade. Does having Paul and James...
The top level of talent in the Western Conference I don't think has ever been higher.
They playing on, you know, a different sport, so at times, and you just have to keep up.
We'll know when we're there, you know, but we're for sure not there yet. And that's why we work every day and try to get better.
I don't see any of these teams that are at that level now that have skipped steps. A couple of them have expedited the process by signing a high-level free agent or making it a trade. But the majority of these teams that are there and enjoy that level of sustainable success, they've done it the hard way. You can't skip a step and think you're not going to pay for it at some point.
We're close. We're getting there. We can feel it. They don't respect people who don't win in this league. So for us to get there, you know, we're going to have to be winners.
We're not delusional. We don't think we're a championship team tomorrow. But we're also not scared to play these teams and see how we stack up against these guys.